Rockford's number one hit music station, 97 ZOK. It's the Steve Shannon Show with producer MJ and Dr. Rank from Swedish American, pediatrician, on the phone with us this morning. How you doing?
Just living the dream, TGIF.
I know this is going to be the perfect person to talk to. I've been thinking this since yesterday, since I saw Brett Favre's name in a headline on concussions and the recommendation that kids should not play tackle football before the age of 14. I figured, let's see, who do I know that could speak from a medical position on young people playing football than a pediatrician who played football pretty much since the day he could walk?
I can remember playing for the Lions in 5th grade, tackle football. It all started. And I had a dream of being a Dallas Cowboy my whole life, but then I realized that I was short and slow, and so I had to go to Plan B, and so I became a doctor, but I really wanted to play for the Cowboys.
Hey, but not just any doctor, a short and slow one.
Right. So that's like double. I was actually surprised that that a Packer came out with this, since the Packers really haven't hit anybody in several years. But then I realized, it was Favre back in the glory days, because I doubt any Packers are getting concussions lately.
Wow. Okay. Right. Aaron sometimes gets calls that other quarterbacks don't.
Right. Don't even run by him fast. You get the flag thrown on you.
So about this concussion study that Brett Favre is a part of, you looked into it.
They took 65 high school football players with no college or pro experience, and they found that 16 out of the 65, had changes consistent with chronic traumatic encephalopathy, easy for me to say. The CTE that everybody is talking about, which basically is an accumulative effect of many, many concussions, and it leads to a form of dementia. In football, concussion is a risk, but when you look at sports as a whole, rugby and ice hockey far outnumber American football as a rate of concussion. And even cheerleading and softball and, all these sports where you're either involved with potentially getting hit or, concussions, you don't have to take a blow to the head. Concussions can occur with, violent shaking or even rotational forces. So it doesn't have to be a direct hit to the head to form a concussion. So anyway, they took the 65 players, 16 of them showed signs consistent with CTE, and only one of those players had started football after the age of 14. So that's, I think, where he got the number 14. So, football gets the big publicity because the NFL is highly involved with this and trying to prevent head injuries, concussions, and obviously CTE. But this study was just in high school athletes. It's definitely a thing. I think in any sport where you're moving, you're at risk for getting a concussion. And obviously, since over 1 million boys and over 2,000 girls play football each year, if some people say 1 in 20 high school football players will get a concussion during the season, so that's potentially 50,000 concussions a year. So it's definitely something to be aware of.
So what do you say to one of your parents, the parents of one of your patients, and they say, okay, well, he wants to play football, and like you said, you started in 5th grade, so in 5th grade, what are you, 10, 11?
Yeah, 10, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Would you say that's an appropriate time then? Because, that conversation is really happening between my stepson's mom and dad,
Yeah.
He wants to play, but there's a thought that maybe it's too soon because he's 9.
Right, and I think that's where people are a little leery, because the brain in a child is undergoing tremendous development between the ages of 8 and 12. So is it better to wait till you're after 14 and get big, strong man children running at each other that have never tackled, haven't learned how to tackle, haven't learned how to hit? Or is it better to teach them at a younger age so they develop good techniques and are able to avoid head injuries much better than the the baby deer syndrome at a 14-year-old who's never hit somebody. I think organized sports are great. I wouldn't have a problem having my son play football, but just, watch. I mean, let them prove that it's not the sport for them. Try it and just be aware. Watch your child at practice or watch your child during the game. If you ever hear the crowd go, ooh, after a big hit, and it involves your kid, I would watch them. And, signs of concussions after game, headaches, dizziness, ringing in the ears, nausea, slurred speech, fatigue, after a game. If they have that, then, get them checked out. But I would encourage parents to get their children involved with organized sports that makes life better, makes everything better, just to be a part of a team. And if that involves a contact sport, I think they should do it. Just have the proper equipment and pay attention and learn the signs and symptoms of a concussion and watch your kids closely.
Dr. Rank from Swedish American, thank you again for the conversation. If you ever want to continue this conversation with Dr. Rank, you can do that on his Facebook page. It's Doc Billy Rank, 97 COK.